Hi students, in addition to telling you a little bit about what this class is going to cover, I wanted to kind of make an argument for this class and see if I could persuade you that this class will be really useful and it's a good thing that your program has required it. I know that for me personally, I wish I'd taken a class like this when I was an undergraduate. I think I kind of missed out and I had to learn some things the hard way, so I think this class is a pretty exciting offering and that you'll learn a lot that'll be helpful to you in the future. So one of the first things that I would say to make this argument is that the workplace is changing, that we don't need people to do things that we sometimes used to need. So here are some examples. This is an advertisement from the company Universal Robots, and they have in the highlighted portion describing this robot arm said that technology like this is someday going to replace human operators, and that's you. And that's me. We're the human operators, and robots are eventually going to replace us in a lot of jobs. Here's another example. I know that when I think about what if the world was to go crazy and I was going to need another job someday, I could always go back and work for Chick-fil-A like I did when I was 16. And this is a picture of a robot that's a hamburger making robot. And it says in the highlighted portion that someday technology like this company is arguing, will replace all the sandwich labor in a restaurant. And guess what sandwich labor is? It's you and it's me. We're the sandwich labor. And so for a job working in a service industry like fast food, we're not going to need people to do that for very much longer. Even something like retail. These are some pictures from Sweden where this convenience store no longer has any retail workers, no cashiers, no people working at the register. You download an app on your phone, get an account like you would for a Lyft or an Uber. Your phone then opens the door, you scan everything yourself, you pay for it because the app already has your payment information, and then you head out. They don't need people to work at the register, so that's another environment that's really changing, which is retail. We're not going to need people to do that work that much anymore. So what jobs are we going to need people for the next couple of generations? Here's some research from NPR, and I put this link on the Blackboard. You can go check it out. Put in a field where you're currently working or where you'd like to work someday, and it'll tell you how likely is it that your job will be done by a machine someday. So for example, my mom and stepdad used to work check processing for a bank, and eventually people stopped writing as many checks. I'm guilty of that. People were using debit cards and credit cards instead, and they just didn't need people to process checks anymore. They replaced all of those sandwich operators, those check processors, with machines. And so go check out that link. Here's some other research about the types of jobs that are not going to be replaced by robots. This is from the researcher David Deming from the National Bureau of Economic Research. You can see that there's 3 lines. The one that's decreasing shows jobs that have routine tasks, the kinds of things that can be done over and over again the same way. Those are decreasing. The 2 growing lines show jobs that have analytical, non-routine tasks and the kinds of jobs that require social interaction. And those are the kinds of jobs that are growing. And that kind of social interaction and thinking on your feet and analyzing situations are some of the skills that we're going to cover in this class. This is a graph that's also based on David Deming's research, and it's kind of complicated, so let me explain. The horizontal line shows jobs that require less math versus a lot of math. The vertical line shows jobs that require less social skill, more social skill. Pink means that job is decreasing, green means that job is increasing, gray means no change. So you can see that while math, increasing and decreasing, all of the pink ones are on the bottom half of the social skills and all the green ones are on the top half of the social skills. So all the jobs that are increasing in number are requiring more social skills than average. And so that gives you an idea of the kind of job that you want to be looking for where you can't be replaced. Here's what David Deming concludes. And you can pause the video to read this quote on your own. But basically he's saying, we just haven't taught computers how to interact socially and mimic humans in the way that they interact with each other. And so for as long as we don't have robots that can do that, if you can do that, you'll be irreplaceable. So communication is one of the big skills that'll make you necessary and undeniable in the job market. This is some ideas from the academic plan at Madison College when they were thinking about what 2 areas do we really want to focus on for our students to be competitive in the job market. The bottom of the T is how can we make sure that our students will contribute to innovation? And that is specific skills, like what your individual program will teach you. But you can't have the whole T without the top of the T, and those are collaborative skills. Skills that'll be helpful for working in teams and communicating with other cultures and managing people. And so that top part is really what a class like this is for. So you have to put the top of the T on by having those undeniable human interaction skills to add on to the specific skills that you're learning in your program. This is some interesting research about the same topic from Career Builder. They asked employers, when you're looking at job applicants and you're interviewing people, what do they lack? What are they not good at? And you would like to see people be better at when they come to apply for a job with you. And if you look at the top results, you can see a lot of the things that we're going to cover in this class. They want people skills. They want people who can communicate verbally. They want people who can work in teams. And we'll cover a lot of that in this class. And that would help set you apart from some of these potential employees that these employers are saying don't really cut it. Similarly, this is some research from employers and students where they compared student and employer perceptions of these skills. And this is pretty interesting. So you can see in yellow at the top that when they asked students, are you proficient in oral communication? 80% of them said yes. But when they asked employers the same thing, only 40% of them said yes. So students tend to overestimate their proficiency in this. And I think that if you have actual skills rather than overestimating your skills, you'll be more competitive. You can see results in teamwork and results in global fluency where students also overestimated their skills compared to what employers actually want. We have advisory committees here at the college that involve employers and people at the college talking to each other, asking how are our graduates doing when you hire them? Do you get good value? And you can see that big numbers of employers say that communication and social interaction are really, really important in the workforce that they represent, whereas some of those specific skills, like science and technology, are less important. So they really want people with people skills, and they want good communicators. These are some of the comments that those employers made to those surveys. You can pause the video and read through them. And what you'll notice is that communication is a big theme in the comments that they leave for us about what they want to see in the graduates that Madison College produces that they might want to hire.